Every time you touch the brake in a new truck, something under the dash writes it down and gives you a grade. How hard you stopped, how fast you pulled away, what time you were out. It gets scored and sent home over a cellular link you never see, and that grade can push your insurance up. Here's the question nobody answers. Why would a company that just sold you a $60,000 truck turn around and sell how you drive it for pennies? 12 trucks, ranked by what your data sold for and who got caught. Under the floor of nearly every truck on this list sits a cellular box that grades how you drive and sends the grade off to be sold. 11 of these 12 run that quietly. The 12th runs it harder than anything on the road. We are counting down from number 12 to the one that got caught cold. Number 12. The Ford Maverick. This is the little one, the compact everybody and their brother has been buying, and that is exactly why it is on the list. People think a small, cheap truck is somehow off the grid. It is not. The Maverick runs FordPass, the same connected system as every other new Ford, which means the same modem, the same location logging, the same driving data flowing back to Dearborn. Being cheap does not make you invisible. It just means they built the same file on you for less money up front. The Maverick sits at the bottom of this list for one reason. Ford collects the data here, but this truck is not where the money got made. For that, keep watching, because the trucks near the top did something with your file that Ford so far has not been caught doing. Number 11, the Tesla Cybertruck. Now, if you came into this expecting the Cybertruck at number 1, here is where I have to correct you. On raw collection, the Tesla is the heaviest data machine on this entire list. Cameras front and back, always on, constant location, cabin sensors. It phones home more than anything Detroit builds. So why is it all the way down at 11? Because this list ranks documented harm. The Tesla collects a staggering amount, and that should worry you, but there is no public record of Tesla selling your driving behavior to an insurance broker who then jacked up your rate. Tesla runs its own insurance arm instead and keeps the data mostly in-house. Is it creepy? Absolutely. But it is not the same move as handing your file to a stranger for cash. The trucks that did that, the ones that actually sold you, are still ahead of us. Pay attention to the next few because they explain why the boring trucks turned out to be the dangerous ones. Number 10, the Nissan Frontier. The Frontier runs Nissan Connect through the My Nissan app. Remote start. Location, the usual connected package. But Nissan earns its spot here for something separate. In 2023, the Mozilla Foundation reviewed 25 car brands for privacy and failed every single one of them. That was already a first. Then it named a worst of the worst, and out of all 25, the very worst was Nissan. Mozilla found that Nissan's own privacy policy claimed the right to collect things that have nothing to do with driving. Your location, sure, but also categories like your health, and in the actual wording of the policy, your sexual activity, which is a strange thing for a truck to need to know. Across those 25 brands, Mozilla found that 84% reserved the right to share your personal data and 76% said they could sell it, and Nissan spelled out that it could hand your preferences, characteristics, and behavior to data brokers and other third parties. Mozilla also found that most of these brands would hand your information to police or the government on nothing more than an informal request, no warrant required. The worst-rated car brand in America for privacy also builds a work truck, and most Frontier owners have no idea their pickup carries the same policy. If that sounds bad, the trucks higher up did not just write scary policies. They cached them. Number 9, the Toyota Tacoma. Every Tacoma built since 2018 leaves the factory with a data communication module, Toyota's onboard cellular unit, baked in. It is not an option you added. It came welded into the electrical system, running Toyota's connected services. Location, driving data, engine readings, all transmitted back to Toyota by default. And tucked into Toyota's own privacy notice is a line that says if your loan runs through Toyota's finance arm and they allege fraud or a broken contract, they can use that same connection to hunt down and locate your truck. Now, the Tacoma is one of the most trusted trucks on the road, the kind people keep for 20 years and hand down to their kids, and that loyalty is exactly what makes it valuable. Because a truck you drive every day for 2 decades is a truck that generates 2 decades of driving records. The Tacoma is not the worst offender here, but it is proof that even the truck you trust most is quietly building a file, And the company holding that file has already shown what it likes to do with it. Which brings us to the bigger Toyota. Number 8, the Toyota Tundra. Same data module as the Tacoma, but the Tundra moves up the list because of who Toyota built to handle all that data. Toyota set up a company called Connected Analytics Services. Its job, in Toyota's own words, is to take the telematics coming off your truck and provide it to insurance companies on behalf of enrolled owners. Toyota frames it as a favor. Drive well, share your data, maybe save a little on insurance. Here is the detail everyone misses. That enrollment usually happens at the dealer, buried in the setup they walk you through before you drive off, and the moment you agree, the pipe runs both directions. The same driving record that could earn you a discount is the record that can price you out if the numbers do not flatter you, and the discount is the part that tends not to show up. In that arrangement, you are not the customer. The product being sold is your braking data, and the insurer is the one buying. Toyota gets to look generous while a full-time data operation runs in the background. The Tundra is where this list crosses over from trucks that simply collect to trucks wired straight into the insurance machine. From here down, every truck has a buyer on the other end. Number 7, the Ram 1500. The Ram runs Ram Connect on the Uconnect system, and here's the part that catches owners off guard. The basic connected plan, the one Ram calls Connect One, comes included with the truck for years. You do not sign up for it in any real sense. You just enroll, usually right there at the dealer, sometimes without fully clocking what you agreed to, and the embedded modem starts talking. That modem is a real piece of hardware, a cellular device with GPS that Ram's own service, marketed under the SiriusXM Guardian name, uses to locate the truck. Ram's material describes drive alerts that track vehicle speed and monitor location. And owners on the Ram forums have spent years trying to figure out how to unplug the thing. One of them put it plainly: if Stellantis wants his data, they can ask him nicely and pay him a fee for it. He is closer to the truth than he knows, because paying pennies for exactly that data is the whole business the top of this list is built on. The Ram collects, the Ram enrolls you without much fuss, and the Ram hands you the same arrangement as everyone else on this list. Number 6, the Chevrolet Colorado. Now we reach General Motors, and GM is where this story stops being about policies and starts being about receipts. The Colorado is GM's mid-sized truck, and like every GM vehicle, it runs OnStar. For years, GM paired OnStar with a feature called Smart Driver, pitched as a free coaching tool to help you drive safer. It tracked specific things and kept score: hard braking events, hard acceleration, speeds over 80 miles an hour, how late at night you drove. Badges for good behavior, like a game. What GM did not put in front of you was where that score actually went. The FTC would later allege GM signed people up for this tracking without their clear consent, sometimes enrolling them right at the dealership before they had driven off the lot. The Colorado is the small end of GM's truck lineup, so it sits at number 6. But it runs the exact same OnStar system that put GM at the center of the biggest connected car scandal in the country, the same system standard on the 2 GM trucks still ahead of us. Hold on to the phrase Smart Driver. It comes back at number 1. Number 5, the Ford F-150, the best-selling truck in America and the best-selling anything in America for decades. It runs Ford Pass, the same system as the Maverick, but at a scale nobody else touches. Millions of F-150s on the road, all reporting. Ford sits higher than the Maverick for a specific reason. Ford got caught by a regulator. In March of 2026, the California Privacy Protection Agency fined Ford $375,000. And the reason matters. Ford's fine had nothing to do with selling data. The agency went after Ford for the exit, for how hard the company made it to leave. When owners tried to opt out of data collection through Ford's connected services, Ford made them clear an extra email verification step first, a hurdle the regulator called unnecessary friction. Sit with that. A company built a wall to keep you from walking out of the program, and a state agency had to step in over the design of an opt-out button. If the exit is guarded that carefully, the thing behind the door is worth a lot. We're about to see exactly how much, because from here down, every truck got caught doing more than collecting. They got caught selling. If this is already making you look at your own truck differently, do me a favor and hit subscribe. This channel digs into exactly this: what your vehicle knows about you and how to take it back, every single week. Now, the trucks that got caught, and to understand how they got caught, you need to meet the company on the other end of the pipe. Enter Verisk. Most drivers have never heard the name, and that is by design. Verisk is a data broker. It does not build cars, and it does not write insurance. It sits in the middle, buying driving records from automakers and turning them into risk reports it sells to insurers. When two senators, Ron Wyden and Ed Markey, went digging into this in 2024, Verisk is the company they followed the money to. It quietly shut its driver scoring product down that spring once the reporting started, but not before it had already paid automakers for millions of drivers. That reporting came from the New York Times, which traced how the car companies were quietly feeding your driving records into this market. The insurer at the end of that chain never has to tell you where your number came from. You just get a higher bill or a letter saying you have been dropped. And the money is where the next three trucks come in, because the senators got the automakers to admit exactly what your data was worth to them. Number 4. The GMC Sierra 1500. Mechanically, the Sierra is the Silverado's twin, the same GM truck under a different badge, and it runs the same OnStar. So everything GM did, it did to Sierra owners too. Here's what GM did. Through that smart driver feature from number 6, GM collected precise location and driving behavior from millions of vehicles, then handed it to data brokers, including Verisk, and a second firm called LexisNexis, who sold it on to insurers. GM even admitted to the senators that it fed location data to 2 more companies it flat out refused to name. That was the story the public eventually learned. Behind the scenes, it was serious enough that the Federal Trade Commission stepped in. In an order finalized in January of 2026, the FTC banned GM and OnStar from selling this kind of driver data to reporting agencies for 5 years and locked them into consent requirements for the next 20. That order carried no fine at all. Its whole force was the ban, 5 years locked out of the business of selling you. A federal regulator does not spend years building a case like that over nothing. The Sierra carries the same hardware, the same history, and the same stain as its Chevy twin. But GM's flagship, the one truck that put all of this on the map, is still sitting at number 1. Number 3. The Honda Ridgeline. The Ridgeline runs Honda Link, and Honda is one of the 3 automakers the senators caught red-handed. This is where the numbers get almost insulting. The Senate investigation found that Honda took the driving data from about 97,000 vehicles and handed it to Verisk, and Verisk paid Honda for it. The total came to $25,920. Do the division, and that works out to about 26 cents per car. That is not a typo, 26 cents. For a vehicle that stickers around $40,000, Honda sold out how you drive it for the change in your cup holder, and it did not end with the senators. In March of 2025, California's privacy regulator fined Honda $632,500, in part for making its opt-out process a maze. The regulator found Honda forced drivers to hand over more personal information than it needed just to let them say no, and pushed them through a clunky process built by an outside vendor. It was the same friction play Ford ran 2 numbers ago, so the picture on the Ridgeline is complete. Honda collected your driving, sold it to a broker for pocket change, and built a privacy process designed to keep you from stopping it. A friendly, practical family truck, quietly running the same pipeline as everyone else, just for a smaller check. And believe it or not, one truck on this list went even cheaper. Number 2. The Hyundai Santa Cruz. The Santa Cruz is Hyundai's truck, and it runs Hyundai's BlueLink connected system. Now, the figure I'm about to give you is a Hyundai number, brand-wide, not the Santa Cruz on its own, so I am going to say it carefully. But it is the sharpest number in this entire video. That same Senate investigation found that Hyundai handed Verisk the driving data from 1.7 million cars. 1.7 million. And Hyundai confirmed it. Verisk paid Hyundai just over $1 million for the whole batch. Run that math, and it lands at about 61 cents per car. Hyundai moved nearly 2 million people's driving records for the price of a vending machine snack apiece. Honda at least kept it small. Hyundai did it at massive scale and still priced you like loose change. If you own a Santa Cruz, understand what that means. You are driving the truck from the brand that put the single largest batch of driver data into that pipeline and got paid in coins to do it. Every automaker on this list found a buyer. Hyundai just found the highest volume. There is exactly one truck left, and it is the one that got caught so completely it forced a federal crackdown and the biggest privacy penalty in its state's history. Number 1. The Chevrolet Silverado 1500. The best-selling truck GM makes, the one in more American driveways than any other pickup on this list, and the face of the entire scandal. Remember Smart Driver from number 6. Here's where it comes home. A software company owner near Seattle named Ken Dahl, 65 years old, a careful driver who has never caused an accident in his life, watched his car insurance jump 21%. He could not figure out why. An agent finally told him to pull his file from LexisNexis. What came back was 258 pages long. It logged 640 of his individual trips, with the dates, the start and end times, the distance, and every single instance of speeding, hard braking, and a hard acceleration his car had recorded. And in just 1 month, according to that same file, 8 different insurance companies had pulled his record. He had never knowingly agreed to any of it. He had done nothing wrong, and he was being repriced on the strength of a file he did not know existed. GM shut Smart Driver down in 2024 once this blew up, but the OnStar hardware it ran on is still standard in every Silverado, and the file it already built on drivers like Dahl did not disappear when the program did. Then the receipts came due. That FTC ban you heard about at number 4 was only the federal half of it. 4 months later, California went further, and its privacy regulator hit GM with a $12.75 million penalty, the largest privacy fine in the state's history, specifically for selling this driving data. The FTC chair, Lena Khan, said GM had been collecting and selling people's precise location sometimes as often as every 3 seconds. That is 20 times a minute, every minute the truck was moving. And a class action now covering roughly 16 million drivers, naming GM, OnStar, and both brokers, has been pulled together into one of the largest connected car privacy cases in the country, grinding through federal court in Georgia. Every 3 seconds, on the number 1 truck in America. That is why the Silverado sits at the top. Not because it collects the most, because it got caught doing the most at the largest scale to the most people. So the next time you back the truck out of the driveway and tap the brake, remember that the tap is a data point. Somewhere a box under the floor is grading it, and there is a market for the grade. These 12 trucks are 12 versions of one problem, and it does not stop at trucks anymore. It is the whole industry. Every automaker on this list found a buyer for the thing you thought was yours. The one piece of good news is that the file is not permanent and the source can be shut off. You can request the file, freeze it, and cut the tap. The same 3 moves that Seattle owner used to fight back. That is the video I would watch next, because knowing the truck is listening is only useful if you know how to make it stop.